time traveler, and time traveler has a measurable speed.
Why does time traveler have a
Yeah,
measurable speed?
that. Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you say that again?
Why does time traveler have a measurable speed? Also, where are you throwing? What do you put in scans?
I'll put. Where should I put the scans? I'll put the scans in. I'll just put the scans in the scans channel. So the time trappers like he has speed beyond linear time, which is the qualification for measurable speed.
All right. Can I see the scan?
Which one?
The scan of him having speed beyond linear time.
Okay. It's actually finite. I got that wrong. Finite time. Sorry.
Finite time?
Yeah. So he's not bound by the limits of finite time. And I like Hal Jordan's speed bits. This guy.
I'm not bound by the limits of finite time. Okay. Finite time. You're aware the actual definition of versus BattleWiki's immeasurable speed scaling is linear time?
Okay.
So why would finite time be like akin to this? Hello?
I just got back from listening to Aeroflame. It was on some bullshit, but
yeah, I was in that call. But so now can you answer my question? Why would finite time being about finite time, or what does he say exactly? How does where's the statement? Like, why is not being bound by the limits of finite time akin to being above linear time, or transcending linear time, or movement beyond linear time? Can you guys hear me?
Okay, so okay. Finite time would simply be describing like the nature of time, but time is finite like anyways because in DC like time has an end, so it would just be describing regular time.
What? Say that again?
Okay, so in DC, finite time would just be a tautology because it's just describing what time it is. So a tautology as in they both like mean the same thing because we know in like the Black is Night event and arcs like that time is finite anyway, so it's just a tautology. It doesn't like invalidate what the time would be.
You're also aware this could just be directly in reference to time travelers, like time travel hacks wouldn't be like akin to his speed either. Like he's just traveling through time.
Why do you think that's possible? He's directly regarding his physical capabilities in this scan.
What?
He's saying he's not bound by the limits of finite time, so he's not just
it would be his physical
so he's not
to travel through time using an ability. It still wouldn't scale to his speed.
You're aware that speed is a multiplier for force, right?
Sure. Why is that relevant?
Because you're trying to cancel out that is regarding speed by saying that it could simply be referring to his physical capabilities. I'm saying that
his physical capability to use the ability to travel through time, not by sheer speed, but as a separate like hacks in this case.
If you read the comment though, he's not traveling through time. He's literally just overpowering an attack from Infinite Man.
Infinity Man? What? Or
Infinite? I think it's Infinite Man. It's like a different character. From Legion of Superheroes, it's not the like new god characters. Legion of Superheroes.
So he's overpowering a time attack here, and you're trying to say this scales to speed. Like,
yes.
Do you understand why that like just doesn't make sense?
I've already explained that speed is a multiplier for force, and if you read the comment, the context is that he needs to be fast enough to overpower the attack in the first place because Infinite Man literally attack.
Can you just send the context then?
Yeah, sure.
Context, and you could just do that and it'd be easier.
Yeah. I just need to find it. One sec. Let me see this effect. Okay, I'm sending the scan right now. So I think it's just been sent the scans. So Infinite Man like sends an attack to Time Trapper, and
Well,
he
no,
needs to.
just send the comic in its entirety, so it should be easier.
Oh
Just
yeah,
skim through
sure.
it
So
all.
1984. DGC Heroes 50/50. I sent it that as well. It is overheating.
You still getting a scan?
No, I got it. I'm just skimming through it right now. And you're saying, hold on. First off, the person who's making the statement of "I am not bound by the limits of finite time," O incarnation of decay, isn't fucking Time Trapper, by the way. Infinite Man's the one who's saying that. Just to set that straight. And in this
Okay,
context,
I never said Trapper was the one who said it.
did you not? I mean, it's not that
No,
big of a deal, but whatever.
yeah, it's not a big deal. I just described what the properties of Time Trap. I didn't like assign a character who said it though. It doesn't matter, but yeah, carry on.
All right, so you're saying that because he has, or because he's scaling to somebody or whatever, who's not bound by the limits of finite time, that person, by exhibiting that power, because the way the force equation works, that power would therefore result in immeasurable speed?
There was a lot of stuff I couldn't like take away. I'll just like repeat it so in my words so you can understand. So I'm saying, Time Trapper exerted a force which overpowered which matched the strength of Infinite Man. He would need the speed to do this. Speed then multiplied for force, which would therefore translate to his speed, which would be measurable. Considering, in order to like manifest all of this force, he needs to be like beyond the bounds of finite time, which in DC is just regular time.
Okay, so first off, not only are you assuming that, like in this case, somebody who's moving at a speed beyond linear time to generate force, like speed, like in this case, the speed equation just doesn't make sense to use for something that's like negative time. Like that doesn't make any sense. For how we think about speed, it just to put like a negative speed there doesn't make any sense, and which is why it's a
I'm not understanding. Can you like repeat it? I'm not understanding. Like, can you say in a different like manner?
Okay. You're trying to You're trying to equivocate the speed equation leading to force, and he's outputting a force that's beyond the bounds of finite time. When in this case, if you were to apply that, it wouldn't make any sense due to the nature of how a measurable speed would work. Because a measurable speed would be like negative time in the sense that you're moving forward in time, or negative time in the past. So if you're doing this, how could you apply this force equation to this when it's reliant upon speed, when in this case speed would not make sense for a measurable speed, or the speed equation would not make sense for a measurable speed?
Because we know how fast he's traveling by what he's saying, so we just equivocate what he's saying to the speed to immeasurable speed.
We don't know how fast he's traveling by what he's saying. He's just making a statement that he's not bound by the limits of finite time.
He says he's not bound by the limits of finite time, so we can surmise
and in this context, you've agreed
we can
that
surmise from this information.
Power.
We can surmise from this information that he would be beyond. He would be immeasurable speed, as I said, because speed is a multiplier for force. I don't understand what's the confusion.
Well, I'm not confused here. I understand what you're saying, but it's just illogical to assume this because that's not how immeasurable speed works. It's moving through and forward in time, and you're trying to apply speed. Speed inherently requires.
What am I assuming?
I'm explaining that to you if you would let me speak. Speed inherently requires time for the.
Can you go from the start? Okay. Can you go from the start?
Sure. I got you. Yeah. Speed. You're trying to equivocate this, like he's stating, "Oh, I'm not bound by the limits of finite time," and you're saying that he's outputting this power. And by the way power works, force in this case works. You would need speed, but for the speed equation to work, you would have to have a number of time that's like positive and not like negative, which is how immeasurable speed would work in the sense that it would be negative time. So, if you were to use this, it wouldn't make sense. You would come up with a negative number and would not be equivalent to speed. So, realistically, it's just kind of like an appeal to reality, too, because you're trying to apply something that's realistic in our world, but not there, because that's just not how speed works in the way we define it. So, it's just not applicable.
Okay, the speed formula is like distance divided by time, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so how would I be applying that when I'm saying he's beyond it?
Well, I'm saying, what? So how are you going to apply the force equation, but state that he's beyond the force equation, or beyond speed, which the force equation is based upon?
Okay, so let's like take it one by one. You said beforehand that I was using the speed formula. My response to that was, I'm not doing that because I'm saying he has immeasurable speed, which is beyond the speed formula. So you understand that, right?
But okay, so now this is circular because you're saying that he's beyond the speed equation because he's generating force that's unbound by time. But now, why does he have force that's unbound by time? Because he has speed beyond linear time. So now your argument is circular.
Okay, I'm saying he's unbound by like the speed formula because that's what we see in the comic.
That's not what we see in the comic. We see him generating a force that's unbound by finite time. Hold on. Don't interrupt me. Hold on. We see him state that he is, or as you stated in this context, He's exhibiting force that's beyond the limits of finite time. And you're saying because of the way the force equation works, his speed would also have to be beyond that of finite time. When this would not make sense just given how the speed equation works. So say he has negative time in this case, the speed equation would crumble and you can no longer use it. So you would actually just have to give me an instance of him, like, doing something different.
Okay.
What?
Okay. I don't know if you're not understanding, but maybe we should go into a different
I was going to say,
point. But
we could just conclude this if you really want. Or do you just...
I guess we can.
Yeah, I was going to say, we could either just drop this point and you can move on to different immeasurable speed scaling, or we can conclude this point.
Yeah, I guess we can go into a different measurable speed scaling because I don't fit. You either don't understand or I'm not just explaining it good enough.
Okay. So, what's your next way of speed scaling?
Oh yeah, let me just get it. So you are aware that like pre-flashpoint Flash has been able to travel through time, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So how the Flash states that he's much slower than the speed of thought in the same time or continuity, which Hal Jordan's powers work on.
Say that again?
Okay, so we both like I know that pre-flashpoint Flash can travel at immeasurable speeds. Now, base Hal Jordan scales above that because Flash admitted himself that he's much slower than the speed of thought.
Can I see the scan of him admitting that he's much slower than the speed of thought?
Yeah. This scans. Oh, lost it. Can you like ping me in scans because I just lost it. Wait, please. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, I've just sent these scans. So Barry Allen's like, I'm much faster than the speed of light, but I'm much slower than the speed of thought.
Like, not only would this just be, like, contradicted, this would just be in reference to Gorilla God's thought, who's, like, reacted to Flash before. So this would be, like, consistent for it just be directly in reference to Gorilla God.
Can we, like, can we take it, like, one at a time, because you said two things, so can you say the first thing again?
Alright, yeah, fine. I'll start with the Gorilla God thing, you're right. So, he's, first off, in this context, he's... What?
Oh, I was going to say, that was not I wanted to hear what the first thing you said, but...
I can go on to that if I need to, but that's not what I'm going to do right now. So, first off, in this connotation, it's just referencing Gorilla God's thought, and his thought being faster than the Flash, or like, I guess like a holding back Flash in this case, but that's besides the point, is like consistently capable of, reacting to Flash. So this statement wouldn't be just generalized about thought itself, just referencing Gorilla God. So it wouldn't really scale to Hal Jordan.
Okay, so you're saying that he's the thought in reference in this panel is Gorilla God's thought.
And Gorilla Grodd's thought is capable of reacting to Flash. That's Gorilla Grodd is like a consistent Flash villain.
Okay, well, we see Hal Jordan literally speed bits Flash with the speed of thought himself, though.
Yeah, can you post that?
No, okay, I'll find that one as well, then, yeah. Are you aware of the when Barry Allen's like parallax and he's trying to fight Hal Jordan and they're like even Hal Jordan eventually? Huh?
Are you talking about the 0 hour thing?
Oh no! Like in the one of the Green Lantern comics, Barry Allen gets possessed by parallax and he's fighting Hal Jordan, and Hal Jordan speed bitsing him multiple times. Are you aware of that or not?
Let me see it.
Yeah, and in full consistency, like I'll send this scan for you, but before Hal Jordan like was soloing Flash as well. But I'll send you the parallax one. Okay, I've posted it. And after this, I want to go over the Gorilla Grodd thing because
You're aware that in the same fight, like, Flash is also blitzing the shit out of him?
yeah, but how Jordan is able to like after this, he's able to come to his senses and then like fight Barry Allen superiorly. But I would also like to mention that this would be a holding back Hal Jordan because when Hal Jordan
he doesn't want to harm the Flash. Is that what you're gonna say, or is it something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the case because he's already subduing. He only wants to subdue Barry Allen and make sure he comes to his senses. Because we know how strong a like a non-holding back Hal Jordan would be in comic form like the Spectre. But if it's not too much for you to like absorb, when your argument with Gorilla Grodd like and his thought, I could just say that Hal Jordan is like the embodiment or the concept of thought itself. So the speed of Gorilla Grodd's thought would translate to Hal Jordan as well in that state as well.
Yeah, I think the parallax scaling is fine. Actually, the parallax Wally West scaling is fine.
Okay. Cool. So I've got how you measure your speed. Okay.
Yeah. You want to do my Orion speed scaling?
Then, yeah, we can do that. Then we would both go into a tap to see if we need to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can start then.
Orion would scale to people like Superman or whatever who are capable of reacting to Flash and all that. Just for all that. From New Genesis, which is beyond time and space. So yeah, that should all be pretty good for a measurable speed. I can grab scans for that if you want.
Yeah, just send the scans of Orion equals Superman.
Oh, like him.
I'm sure I've seen them.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen them. I just need. Thanks.
Actually, no, I'm gonna do it like this. Are you aware that Orion is relative to pre-crisis Darkseid? Like they fought and stuff, and they're like relative in strength. They can like react to each other.
In the ones like old comic, like his solo
Yeah.
series.
No, not a solo series. The pre-crisis one. Like pre-crisis on Infinite Earths. They fought.
Wasn't that? I swear the Orion solo series was few guys, but you probably know more than me.
No, it's not.
Can you just send? Can you just send it? Because I probably read the comic, but
I got it. I got it.
Yeah, I thought the Orion solo series was thinking.
No, that's
Few guys. Oh, no, I'm missing out. Damn.
Hey yo,
Yo,
who did man?
what?
Good luck, nigga.
What?
Why is there so many people in here except no one's talking?
I'm finding a scan.
the debate.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay. Here it is. So, in this context, Highfather had created like a weakened clone of Orion, like which he states is like a shell of his former self. That's just him fighting Darkseid, but I can grab the scan of him being like a shell of his former self. Show that he's like just not peak Orion here. It's just like a bitch made Orion that's still like matching hands with Darkseid.
It's like this in Legion of Superheroes. This
Yeah.
comic. Oh, I don't remember the issue. Like, can you like tell me what issue it's from? I forgot.
I think it's in the Great Darkness saga. I think it's either the fourth or the last one, but the last comic, but
Okay, while I try to find what the comic, why do you think this goes to measurable speed? With that,
so
yeah.
pre-Crisis Darkseid is capable of like speed blitzing pre-Crisis Superman.
How fast is pre-crisis Superman's combat speed?
His combat speed? I mean, his combat speed should be realistically relevant to his travel speed, which he's capable of traveling through time and stuff.
Why do you think his combat speed would realistically translate to his travel speed?
If I'm capable of moving my entire body through time, would it be like unrealistic to assume that my arms would not be moving at the same speed?
Yeah, because when I'm
he's-
running like the 90-meter dash, I'm like traveling at a super great speed. Doesn't mean I could fight in boxing at that same speed.
You're right, you can actually move your arms faster than you can run that. I think the average punching speed is like 20 miles per hour, and I think, assuming you're average in every category, it'd be like, I think 3 or 2 miles faster than that, so yeah, that's realistic.
Okay, well, if we like look at the comic, this would be Darkseid's reaction speed. So, what would his
You mean
travel speed
Superman's reaction speed?
Can be Darkseid or Superman's. Like, what would?
Well,
Yeah, so I'm
Darkseid's
saying,
the
what
one
would?
blitzing him, so...
I didn't hear that.
Darkseid's the one blitzing pre-Crisis Superman, so it would be pre-Crisis Superman's reaction speed that he's blitzing.
We take it this way then. What is So you need to like scale Superman's reaction speed to be above a measurable speed. That's missing here.
Well, okay, he's capable of reacting to himself, is he not?
He's capable of reacting to himself.
Yeah.
Why do you like think that?
I can react to my punches. I'm fast enough to think about punching.
What do you mean by that?
Like, okay, I'm thinking about punching. I just punched forward. I reacted to my punch. So therefore, my punching speed would scale to my reaction speed, and my combat speed would just go along with that.
Okay. Your thought is a precursor to your movement, though. It doesn't happen at the same time.
I just thought about punching and punched at the same time. Yeah, I'd react to it.
So, like I said, your thought is a precursor. You think about it first, and then you perform the movement. So it's not happening at the same time. You have to think to punch before you actually punch. You know that way.
You have to think to punch. Well, he's also capable of thinking while moving through time as well. So that's also just irrelevant at that point. He's thinking when moving through time, and he's thinking not in the past, but he's thinking in the moment. So that'd be a measurable speed for thought too, and a measurable speed reaction. I can grab the scan.
Okay, so he's got immeasurable speeds for what he's traveling. What is that? Yeah, you still haven't answered the question. Why does his travel speed scale to his reaction speed? I'm still waiting for that.
Okay, why would my thinking randomly just change when I'm traveling through time and when I'm not traveling through time through raw speed? Like that, you understand? That's kind of like ridiculous.
Because if you're traveling, you're performing a linear movement, right? And when you're fighting in combat, it's like requires a lot of agility and like.
I don't just suddenly start thinking
movements.
faster when I'm running. That's like what? That's fucking stupid.
I never said. Yeah, you don't have to think faster. I'm just saying the fact that the two movements are different is a concept we need to like examine further.
Yeah, we can examine it further and come to the conclusion that, yeah, okay, I'm thinking while moving, I can punch and move my entire body while moving through time, while I'm running backwards in time. I'm capable of thinking and doing all of this at the same time while moving through time. I'm capable of doing all of this. It would translate to combat speed in the sense that they would be at least bare minimum relevant.
Okay, look at it like this. If Superman's traveling linearly to travel, he doesn't really have to do as much as when he's fighting against Darkseid, when there's a bunch of punches, kicks, and all kinds of movements coming his way. So when you're traveling, you just go in one direction, and all you have to do is like travel and then think. But when you're fighting, you have to throw punches. You have to think about the next attack. You have to anticipate what the opponent's going to do. You have to like punch the opponent. So it's much more complex and sophisticated than just traveling.
Like, even if that were true, it still wouldn't make up an immeasurable difference between the two, just by how the basis of speed works in this case, or reaction works in this case. Because I'm moving through time, I'm still thinking. Yeah, sure, maybe I'm not as like hyper, like laser focused on reacting to different movements, but I'm still thinking, and I'm capable of perceiving the things that are moving through time with me, such as my arms, my legs, and all of that at the same time. In this case, he'd be reacting to people who are, or in this case, unable to react to people who are moving at a speed higher than that. So it's just higher into a measurable speed.
You said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it wouldn't make up an immeasurable speed difference, right?
Yeah, and I explained why that would be the case.
Okay, can you explain it again, or just phased out a bit?
Sure. Okay, so Superman, while moving forward in time, would not be as laser, like in this case, if he's just casually sprinting through time, it's just, he's not going to be as laser hyper-focused on the battle, because there's nobody to battle. He's just moving through time casually, and his mind is still capable of keeping up with him. He's still capable of thinking at speeds beyond that of linear time. In this case, would be a measurable speed. In the case of fighting or combat, he's capable of reacting to people who are also moving at that same speed as him, with punches, kicks, and all of that, while hyper-focused. In this case of Darkseid's just blitzing him. So he's blitzing a person who can also think at a measurable speed. It's likely to assume, and the most probable assumption to assume, that Superman also has a measurable speed, thought speed. So, in the case of Darkseid blitzing him, Darkseid would have to have a measurable speed to do that, and have a higher, layer of a measurable speed to do that.
Okay, can you I think I've already addressed everything. You just kind of repeated yourself, but that's fine. I understand what you're saying now, but can you send me the scans of Darkseid? What is it? Darkseid speed mixing Superman.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Here it is. All right. Look in the scans.
Yeah, just found it.
So we see Darkseid just talking to the Phantom Stranger, and in the next panel, he's got his hand gripped around Clark Kent, in this case, his throat. So it's just most likely to assume Superman just got fucking blitzed and just got bitched by Darkseid, and he throws him out the fucking window. So yeah, he's just getting bodied by Darkseid here.
Superman would be off guard based on his verbatim statement, but he wasn't.
Looking at Darkseid,
and he didn't anticipate that a guy with such a monster of size can move that fast.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not off guard. He's just expecting Darkseid to be slower than him, and then Darkseid's not slower than him, and he gets fucking just clapped, blitzed.
So his mental state is not in a reliable mode for you to scale this to his natural fighting capability, because he's literally underestimating how fast Darkseid could travel if you really pan in the right hand corner.
1 sec.
He's literally saying, "Damn, I didn't even know he could move this fast." He wasn't expecting somebody of such monolithic side to move that fast.
Like, okay, I can hold expectations for somebody. Like, he knows, in this case, Superman's, like, obviously aware that Darkseid's dangerous. And he's obviously, like, there's no way he's not prepared for a fight, just, like, he's like, alright, it's Darkseid, this big fucking god man. And he's like, okay, he's a big dude. I'm not expecting him to be that fast, but he's likely expecting for a fight here. And then Darkseid, just, while Superman's just looking at Darkseid just wraps his fucking hand around his throat. So, like, even in this case, sure, Superman, like, might not be at, like, at a high expectation, but he's still ready to react, or in this case, would be ready to react to him if he was slower than him, or even the same speed as him. But in this case, no, Darkseid's just fucking, no, I'm just gonna grab your throat right before you could even do anything. So it's just, yeah, he's blitzing him.
Okay, so let's present like an example or an analogy, right? Let's say you're in like you're just walking and you see this sort of super fat like 500 lab like guy, right? And then he randomly just speed blitz you out of nowhere. Like, what do you think that would scale to your speed if you was fighting against somebody like Mayweather, who you know is fast, and you're expecting him to be that level of speed?
Okay, so say I'm under the assumption, like, I'll start with the fat guy part. Say I'm under the assumption, like, this is a fat dude. If I'm expecting a fat guy to be, say, I'm expecting a fat guy to have the speed of a fat guy. You know what I mean? He's going to be running pretty slow. That doesn't mean my eyesight just suddenly stops working in the sense that somebody can teleport in front of me. Like, that's just not how vision works. I can't just slow down my perception of time. My perception of somebody specific in this case. So it wouldn't make sense, and it would only further my point in the sense that somebody just blitzing the shit out of me and punching me or catching me in my throat before I can do anything. I can't even see the person doing it. Yeah, I'm not going all out. He still blitzed the shit out of me, and I still wouldn't be able to do anything if I was prepared for it. Like, how would I defend against that? It's just some fat dude who's just sprinting at me and blitzing blitzing my throat. And the same thing would apply for Mayweather. I'm nowhere near as good as a boxer as Mayweather. I can be prepared to fight Mayweather. He'd still rock the fuck out of me at the speed of however fast his punches are, and I still wouldn't be able to do anything.
Okay, but there would still be a mental block, which is inside your brain, which doesn't enable you to travel at speeds which you normally would against an opponent who you know is extremely fast. And even if
That's fine.
like even without this argument, Superman is reluctant to like deliver a lot of heavy blows or like just fight normally against opponents who he doesn't want to kill in pre-crisis.
Yeah, and listen, that's fine, but it only furthers my point in the case that I'm prepared to fight Mayweather, right? I'm ready to beat the fuck out of this dude. I'm going in. I'm at the peak condition I can be at. I'm self-confident. I'm ready to go at him, and I understand how strong Mayweather is. There is not a thing I could do aside from like previous training or whatever, but during the fight there's not a thing I could do that could prepare me for one of his like extremely fast punches. I can be ready. I can know how fast he is to the T. I can have my hands up, ready to go. Wow, I'd still get punched in the nose. I'd still get fucking shit on. I'm so But yeah, no, I'm still getting rocked. Me being prepared or me being unprepared doesn't change anything.
Okay, I would also say that since Superman's on wasn't he on like New Genesis in this comic?
This is on Apocalypse.
But since he's on Apocalypse, which is like beyond his like the natural environment or terrain he's used to fighting on, this likely wouldn't scale to Superman when he's on planet Earth, where he's got all his like best feats.
Well, no, that's not. You're aware how the boom tubes work, right? Like, I think that's what you're referencing.
Yeah.
The boom tubes would just make it so that like
I mean,
he's
it doesn't necessarily have to be the boom tube. It's just the fact that he's fighting on a
different
planet
planet.
which is outside his natural playing field. So it would be unlikely. You'd have to like substantiate that he's capable of fighting or performing at the same levels of power in this instance.
Well, first off, no, it wouldn't be my substantiation. You're making the claim here. Second off, it wouldn't change anything unless implied that like Apocalypse is different. And by the way the boom tubes work, he's just being put here and like matched to size on this level. Like, you know, the new gods are massive people. There's the Orion statement, there's all of that. They're like bigger than universes or whatever. So they're just making it so Superman is how Superman would be on Earth is how Superman would be on Apocalypse. So he'd be the same size if you were to shrink the planets down. So the size of the planets or how the planet's environment infects him wouldn't change anything, especially considering the fact that Superman's got like other shit that can resist that. So I don't see why that's relevant.
Okay, so I would address the first claim. He actually wouldn't be mine because your claim entails that Superman is performing at his regular level of speed. So that's a
once said
presupposition which you have to fulfill. Okay, so you're basically you're scaling a weaker Superman then.
It's an assumption we can make because it's like why wouldn't it be regular Superman? You know what I mean? Or sorry, why wouldn't it be like a Superman? Like we understand Superman's boom tubed, and that's the context of as to how Superman is. But that's not enough to say that he's weakened or anything. If anything, he's just normal, regular Superman here. We can't make it. What I'm trying to say is, I'll simplify that. We can't make a basis off that without like.
But you would understand that claims would have to be justified with proof, right, of why they're invalid and shouldn't be used in arguments, right?
I can prove that he's been boom tubed, but I wouldn't.
It's like a yes or no, like a yes or no, like. Do you believe that or statements or arguments put forth in a debate have to be provided with evidence? Otherwise, we should just dismiss them because they're not true. If I just said
in this case, evidence has already been provided.
If I said if I said Green Lantern was solo Orion and I did not provide any proof for it, would you agree that we should drop it because this is irrelevant because you don't have any facts for it?
Sure, but that's not equivalent to what's happening here.
It is though, because you said that we should make the assumption. Your argument is an assumption. An assumption is by definition something without proof.
Well then, okay, in this case we're assuming it because it's the most likely assumption. And until contradicted, this assumption would be perfectly fine, just what's happening. Sorry.
Okay, they both cancel out because you self-admitted that you're making an assumption which is something asserted without proof.
Well,
so
okay.
How would it increase the likelihood if you don't have any proof for it?
Okay, so I'm assuming what you're trying to employ here is like Occam's razor. In this case, we've seen Superman arrive at this planet. Superman is acting in a normal case, therefore we can assume Superman's just at his regular self. What you're doing is you're saying Superman's at this place, so now we can also assume that he's different somehow or changed somehow. So by Occam's razor, which is what you're I think trying to employ here, my argument here, even if it is based off an assumption, it's just the most likely assumption. It would be the correct assumption until contradicted.
Kind of derailed, but second of all, I'm not the boom tube is not a feature in my argument, but we can get on that after. So my argument before was, if you're admitting that you're making an assumption which is denotatively defined as something without proof, which you also admitted beforehand when I asked the question, should we dismiss all claims asserted without proof, then you should just drop this argument because it's a contradiction to the basis which you've given me. Okay,
well, first off, my argument has proof. We're just going on to things that involve assumptions here. Yeah, my argument has proof. I have proof for my claims. My argument's
you said it's an assumption. You said we should assume it.
We should assume it? Like what? Are you just trying to point out my words? Are you nitpicking my words here? I'm okay. I'm assuming it in the sense that it's the most likely.
In a debate,
is that what you want me to do?
So you said this on two separate occasions that you're making an assumption that we should assume it. We should assume it. I simply given you the denotative definition, which is something without proof. And then now it seems like you're trying to backtrack because you don't like the fact that it's that way.
So first off, not only would in this case, proof would not inherently matter until a contradiction is presented. Say, all right, we can I'm saying this assumption is fine. Like, this assumption is perfectly fine because there's no contradiction to it. And the contradiction is what would employ a need for proof from my side. But because that contradiction doesn't exist yet, my stance is just like, all right, it's just the neutral stance that, well, he's just normal Superman here. He's not amped, he's not de-amped, he's just normal. And that's what's displayed by the comic. And that's, you would have to provide the contradiction here, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. That would literally be like an argument from ignorance. Are you aware of what that is?
An argument from ignorance would be me saying that, like, oh, Superman's amped because it's not shown that he isn't amped. Or me saying Superman's not amped because it's not shown that he is. I'm taking the neutral stance here, so I'm not employing, like, anything for an argument from ignorance. I'm not saying anything exists because something doesn't exist. I'm saying Superman is like this because there's nothing else implying anything else. So I'm taking the neutral stance here, which is the most supported stance so far.
The neutral stance is to take no stance at all.
The neutral stance would be...
The neutral stance is
you're
to
right,
take...
my bad.
Oh my God.
No, you're good.
The neutral stance is to take no position at all because there's no proof for it. You understand that, right? Because if you're saying that we should assume this is the case, you're making a claim. So if we remain neutral, we should say, I don't know if Superman's amped or not. I don't know if he is amped, so let's remain in the middle. That's the neutral stance.
Exactly, yeah, that's why I have the neutral stance. I don't know if Superman's amped or not. I don't know if Superman's not amped or not. I just know that this is Superman, and this is just regular Superman. That's what we know from what's been provided to us.
Okay, so since Superman is ambiguously amped or not amped, you cannot push this forward because you don't have the necessary details to scale Orion above Superman.
What? Okay, let me rephrase this then, because I don't think you understood what I said. Superman has been brought to this planet. Superman is seemingly normal. There's nothing implying Superman would be de-amped or amped. Superman is just... And Superman gets blitzed by Darkseid. Now, how could we assume either of those options for him being de-amped or amped? We don't have any proof for either side, so the neutral stance in this place would be Superman's just Superman here. There's neither an amp or a de-amp to him.
If you're assuming, which is without proof, that is just normal Superman, that is a claim in and of itself.
I get, yeah, it's a neutral claim, sure. I'm not taking a positive or a negative.
You're making an affirmative stance. No, it is affirmative because you're assuming that it is regular Superman. What dictates that it's not regular Superman?
Oh my God, okay. I get that. That's fine. I still wouldn't have to prove anything here because I'm not taking a positive or a negative stance. My proof would be the fact that there's nothing implicative of either of them. So, my neutral stance is perfectly fine here.
No. So your stance you're taking is, since there's no proof on both sides, we should assume that this is regular Superman.
All right,
am I right in that?
Fuck this. Let's just go to conclusions because we're just going in circles here. Is that fine?
Okay. Well, I also want to go on like a second like portion. We can like go conclude that after, but we can go because you said that I was making arguments about beam truth, which is not relevant to the argument.
Before we go on to that, let's conclude this point with the judge.
Okay, go first. You can go first then.
So do you want to conclude your speed argument, Hoodie?
Well, not the speed argument, just the sub point we got into of whether or not Superman would be like amped or de-amped.
In the sense of the blitz again?
Is like
yeah, of the sense of the blitz.
For the speed argument in the first place, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this sub point is relevant for the speed argument, so it would be a conclusion on the speed argument.
Okay, so go ahead and basically summarize your argument, and then summarize your response afterwards. Perfect.
Okay, so in conclusion, Darkseid is capable of blitzing the shit out of a Superman, which he claimed would be de-amped or not at his peak form because of the fact that he's on a different planet, when he has not given any substantiation for this, so we can just, by the fact that there's no proof for either side, we can take a neutral stance that it's just a regular Superman here. Without any contradictions, this would be perfectly fine, and Darkseid would then scale above, or would be capable of blitzing a immeasurable speed Superman, and giving Darkseid a higher level of immeasurable speed compared to Darkseid, or to Superman. And then Orion would then scale to Darkseid as the scan provided beforehand. Mind you, this would be a weakened Orion as well, as stated by Highfather. I'm finished.
Okay, so what's his name? Hoodie stated later on in his argument that he has to make an assumption, he has to appeal to an assumption, which I pointed out that is denotatively defined as something asserted without proof. He then he didn't like that it's defined this way, so he tried to get out of it by saying that, oh no, I'm saying the neutral stance. But if the neutral stance wouldn't be to
repeat. Wait. Perfect. Repeat what you said. Repeat like from the beginning. Like it was kind of like really convoluted. Repeat what you said.
Oh, okay. So, Hoodie said that his argument is without proof. I gave a definition for proof being that it is something asserted without proof, like without evidence or facts. And he also admitted beforehand that all arguments in a debate would have to be proven. So I think that dismisses or debunks most of his claims. Second of all, he said that what did he say? Oh, he said that. I said that this would not scale to regular Superman because he's on a different planet. That was not a claim I made. I said that considering that he's on a planet outside of his normal playing field, you would have to substantiate that this would still scale to regular Superman who has immeasurable speed. And what else did he say? What else did he say?
So you're asserting the value that this Superman would still have a measurable speed.
Me?
Yeah. Also, what did he say? Okay, he said something about measurable speed. Can you give me 10 seconds to remember it? Oh, he said that he was taking a neutral position of whether Superman was amped or not. My response to this was that the neutral position would be that I do not know whether Superman was amped or not. Now, if we do not know, that means it is ambiguous, which means he can be amped or he could not be amped. And since this is so ambiguous, you cannot push this scaling forward because it's just arguing on something which has not been provided evidence. So this Superman could be super amped to the ton or super nerfed, and would just destroy his argument. Okay, that's my conclusion.
Oh, brother. Okay, so what it sounds like essentially is what it sounds like essentially you posted a scan for Darkseid, Blitz, and Superman. Before the summary of the conclusion of the argument initially, he made an argument to say that in this case, this is just like a normal Superman, or he wasn't ready. The argument was basically it was countered by the notion that in this case, Superman knows what's happening, and him being that fast and strong is perfectly acceptable, especially including the fact that in this case, your response perfect was trying to justify that by saying that, oh, he was off guard due to the notion of how big and fast he was. But in this case, he can both be big and fast, and that doesn't necessarily dictate that the Superman is off guard. So as far as that point goes too, I do think Hoodie was able to substantiate that.
We didn't conclude that point though.
No. I'm just saying why I feel like this plays relevance into this argument that he's using. So in this case, though, towards this argument of whether he's amped or not, this Superman, the way that the neutral stance that Hoodie was using, it sounds like you don't really you kind of misphrased yourself, or in this case, you didn't use the term right because you try to substantiate the fact that in this case, the neutral stance wouldn't be taking a position based off of the amount of evidence that we have for both sides. But he's basically just asserting the value that the amount of evidence that we have is substantial due to the fact that in this case, this Superman doesn't have a reason. Who's fucking jacking off or going, Okay, anyways, but he's basically trying to say that this. Nigga.
Yo, chill out. I'm gonna mute myself. Yeah.
Okay. So essentially, like I was saying though, in reference to this point, it sounded like perfect. Correct me if I'm wrong. From your conclusion, it sounds like you're trying to substantiate the fact that in this case, there's no reason for us to not think that this Superman would be at full power because he's not familiar to this setting. And in this case, he's not ready for what's happening on the scene for him being blitzed and thrown through the wall. Correct?
Oh yeah, that was part of it. Yeah.
Okay. So, and Hoodie, your response in this case is we shouldn't be able to make an assertion because this substantiation for what he said in this case um, isn't accurate because Darkseid can just be that fast and just be able to blitz him. And in this scenario, for this unfamiliar setting, you're simply saying that he's not able to substantiate why this unfamiliar setting would dictate a nerf or an increase in power. Correct?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm charging. All right, is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Okay. So yeah, if that's the case, and Hoodie is simply saying that you can't substantiate how this unfamiliar setting is affecting Superman, and your only response in this case is that it's unfamiliar. Do you not feel like that kind of just like it kind of begs the question in the sense that you're not able to dictate or justify why this unfamiliar setting is necessarily nerfing Superman or making him weaker?
Well,
And
we never actually got to. I never actually got to give my reason on that, so we concluded a different point which you're referring to.
that's what I'm saying though. So this is connected to the point though. It's all intertwined because if you can't substantiate the reason why this unfamiliar setting would be nerfing this character,
because I didn't get. It's not connected because I didn't get a chance to even provide proof that this wouldn't scale to Superman in the first place. We concluded a different point when you're referring.
Okay. Obviously, in this case, perfect. What I'm saying is, for you trying to substantiate this feat for this character, are you trying to say that Superman isn't at his best? Correct? Yes.
No, I'm presenting the possibility that why would he be at his best in this format?
Yeah, but you simply providing like a skeptical answer to say why wouldn't he be at this best, and then Hoodie then for claiming yes, there's nothing to prove that he's at his best, and the same way we can assert that we can say there's nothing to prove that he's not at his best. There's no substantiation or positive claim being made here. If two people are asserting skepticism or trying to take the neutral stance in what's actually happened in this case, we can only base off of what we know, and what we know is that this Superman is still Superman at the end of the day unless you have like a scan or an argument to contend that this Superman again isn't at full capacity or this Superman isn't Superman, and your only justification was it's an unfamiliar setting, but the unfamiliar setting doesn't necessarily correlate to his strength, which you didn't prove because you didn't get there yet. Do you understand the problem?
Well, not necessarily because he didn't. The neutral position wouldn't be to take a position at all.
Yeah, so in this case, you saying that there's not a reason for us to assert that he's at full power, and him saying there's not a reason to assert that he's not at full power, or in this case that he is, then there's just two people taking a neutral position. Do you not understand that? Like,
yeah, so if he's taking a neutral position, then he cannot.
Yes, but you're also taking the neutral position. Do you not understand?
Okay. Yeah, I understand that part, but it seems like you were saying that. You seem like you think that he can both take a neutral position and say that Superman's at full power as well.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, you misinterpret what I said. I'm not saying that Superman is at full power. I'm saying because both of you guys are asserting the neutral position, we cannot assert anything on this character's strength besides them being this character that they are, which is Superman, and nobody's dictated an increase or a nerf of this character. So the base assumption, which was being argued here, would be that this is a base Superman. It would just be a regular Superman.
That's the part I don't agree with. I don't think we should take a position at all.
Yeah, but obviously we have a basis because we know this is Superman. Like, if you don't have a basis, you can't even identify the character, neither dictate how strong or how weak he could get. So simply applying skepticism doesn't necessarily deter from the connotation that this Superman is still Superman at the end of the day. Like, you have to give a substantiation of why this Superman wouldn't be Superman, and simply saying an unfamiliar setting or it's not enough to actually cater to the fact that this Superman is weaker or stronger, and you simply saying we shouldn't be able to claim anything due to this setting isn't enough, or neither do I feel like it's strong enough, which is why I feel like Hoodie is able to substantiate his point on that it would still be a base Superman. Like,
Okay, I'm not like gonna carry on fair because I think you've already like decided who you think on this point. So what I say wasn't like
you guys,
you can carry on like
you guys can continue off like the point, but yeah, I think Hoodie won this point, but whatever.
okay. The Apocalypse or New Genesis. They're like from the sphere of God, which is metaphysical, right?
Oh yeah, Hoodie, you guys can debate again, bro. Like,
Ice, I'm pretty sure Hoodie said in chat that he'd be right back.
oh, okay, I didn't see it.
Did you hear what I said?
Hoodie's not
Did you
here.
hear what I said?
He dipped out for a second.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to get. My mom made some dinner, and I didn't want her to beat my ass because I disrespected her by not eating it. So who won the point?
I think you won.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Alright, so speed scaling's good for now. We can move on to AP.
Oh no, we're still gonna carry. I was gonna substantiate why I think he's weaker based on his planet.
That's what we just concluded, no?
No,
I
we
thought
didn't conclude that.
I'm pretty sure we just concluded the entirety of speed.
You guys, okay.
No.
This was concluding your argument for speed.
Yeah.
In this case, yes. In this case, if Perfect wants to add on anything for his speed argument, you're able to do so, obviously.
So the planet Apocalypse is a metaphysical realm.
Hold on. That's not what he's saying. That point's done. You can add on to your own speed if you want, is what he's saying.
Yeah, so I'm saying that obviously you're scaling Orion, dark side above Superman, immeasurable speed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is what I'm saying for Perfect. If Perfect wants to argue, you're trying to get your character to immeasurable, or you want to bring up something else, then go ahead.
To be fair, it's Orion capable of fighting Darkseid, who can blitz people with immeasurable speed.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. If you want to argue your character, I'm not simply saying that this point is being continued. Obviously, this point is over. Just explain why you think that Green Lantern or Hal Jordan, my fault, has immeasurable speed.
Well, no, he did that already. He got Green Lantern. Hal Jordan had immeasurable.
The judge said I should carry on. So.
No, I'm saying. Okay, wait, Hoodie. Are you trying to say that in this case you're accepting that his character has immeasurable speed?
Yeah, I did before.
Okay. So, in this case, I was trying to see if you wanted to substantiate anything even further and argue more, like higher layers of blitzes or etc. Like whatever. Well, you can carry on with the debate.
All right, so we're doing AP now.
So where does that look?
What do you guys want to continue on? Are you done with speed completely? Do you want to go into AP hacks?
I guess we could carry on the speed portion.
Okay.
Where does Orion scaling above these characters get him above Hal Jordan?
Get him above. I don't know. I just scaled my character. I scaled my character speed. We haven't really gotten into like that. But I mean, you scaled their character to a measurable speed. I feel like I feel like this would make more sense if we like go over AP hacks.
But obviously in this case though, if a character's a blitz difference, into immeasurable speed, this would be, important. If you're not arguing that Green Lantern or Hal Jordan, or in this case, is a blitz level in the same sense that Orion scales the dark side, he's able to blitz immeasurable speed characters, then this will be a defeater to a speed blitz.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, do you want to carry on the speed to substantiate why you feel like Hal Jordan is like a blitz difference about characters with immeasurable speed instead of just scaling them to immeasurable speed?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Where does Orion's speed scaling go in reference to scaling above Hal Jordan? Like, why can't Hal Jordan still be faster than these characters?
Superman, like you scaled your character to like baseline immeasurable speed. I scaled Superman to like regular immeasurable speed. Darkseid capable of speed blitzing him. Orion scales to Darkseid in speed, in combat speed. And yeah, so Orion would just have like a blitz difference between immeasurable speed and his own speed. So
I guess you didn't understand the question. Like, why did these characters scale above Hal Jordan in speed?
I just explained why. You scaled Hal Jordan to
No,
immeasurable speed.
you just said what you said was you have your characters, you have like your characters lays into immeasurable on the basis that these other characters also have immeasurable speed. However, my two characters, Hal Jordan and the Flash, also have immeasurable speed scaling, and Hal Jordan has the layers into immeasurable speed as well.
That wasn't established.
What dictates that
that
your layers in.
Okay, you guys. Okay, wait. The thing that has been established so far is that Orion scales the Darkseid, and Darkseid is able to blitz Superman with immeasurable speed. So far we have a character on his side. Orion is a speed blitz above immeasurable. You have established because he accepted that Hal Jordan has immeasurable speed. He never accepted that Hal Jordan was a speed blitz above immeasurable speed. So we're not saying that your character is not immeasurable, or neither is he trying to say that. All we're trying to do here is establish if you want to get Hal Jordan a blitz level above immeasurable speed characters. Unless you're going to argue that Hal Jordan can blitz the Flash, who's baseline immeasurable speed, and then you guys can carry on with that argument. So yeah, that's pretty much what you guys are on. He's not saying that, my character is layers, your character isn't layers. If he's layers, prove your character is layers or blitzes into it. Like, there you go.
Okay, I was trying to establish that before, but it doesn't matter. But so Barry Allen, you would agree that he would be like he has like multiple instances where he's relative to characters like Zoom or the Reverse Flash, right? Actually, I'll do it this way. Are you aware that Hal Jordan has speed bits Zoom?
Zoom? Are you talking about the fucking what's it called? Not 0 Hour. The one where he's like fighting the Justice League, and then he like grabs him with chains.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but in that case, you like off guarded him. You just come like how
No,
Jordan
he was
did-
in,
like
he
in
was
the
in
scan,
the process.
like in that scan, like he's fighting, like Zoom is fighting the Justice League. Then Hal Jordan just comes up behind him when he's like monologuing or something. I don't remember it exactly, but then just grabs him with chains. So you know, it wouldn't be a speed. He didn't speed blitz him.
Zoom was actually in the process of speed blitzing the Trinity, so he was traveling at speed greater than Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman could travel. And even when he's traveling at such great speeds, Hal Jordan is still able to think and summon chains which trap.
Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab the scan.
And this is like we don't even have to this from that like instance because he's done it on a different occasion as well. I guess the same character Zoom. After his speed bits 2 speedsters.
Yeah, can you post scans for that, by the way? I got the one where he
Which one?
I got the one where he catches him with chains, but
Okay.
I think. Fuck, what's the name of that called? Sinestro War. There we go.
Good, bro. Yeah, sure. Jester, father, please help me.
Is the debate over, or are you after starter?
They're still debating, guys.
Okay, I've sent the scan, but I kind of want to still reflect on the instance where he's fighting Zoom versus when he's fighting the Trinity. That was my main argument. I'm just like, I just said the speedster argument for consistency.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't think neither of the cases where neither of the cases where he's like reacting to Zoom here are like speed blitzes where he's like breaking his perception.
Okay, but I did it. I was saying that I want to do reflect on the Trinity point instead, because that's not instead, but more so because that was the main argument. But the scanner just sent right now, that's just for consistency.
Yeah, and I'm just talking in terms of both of them. He's not blitzing either of them. He's just like hitting them.
Okay, no, I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Like, yeah, like, sure. He also scales to another immeasurable speed character in speed. He doesn't scale massively above them in the sense that he's being like that he's speed blitzing them, and it's just so far above them that he can just break their perception and just do what like Darkseid did to Superman. He's just hitting them.
Okay, well, okay, we don't need to go over that because. So all I'm saying is Hal Jordan scales above characters who's so fast that other characters cannot react to them. So in the scans, reverse flat, so Zoom is hitting Superman with like 70 punches, but Superman cannot even react. How is that not massively above? Imagine if I could hit you with like 70 like punches before you could even like throw one punch. Like that's clearly a significant increase in speed against you.
Well, like in this case, yeah, like alright. So sure, but in the later in the scans of Hal Jordan fighting Zoom, like Zoom is still reacting to him and like still like dodging his attacks. So there's still relativity there. Like it's not just Hal Jordan speed blitzing him. Like later on in the fight, Zoom's still just like, I'm fucking dodging around. Hal Jordan doesn't just catch him and it's like, oh, that's the end. No, like they still like later fight and Zoom is still later like attacking him or whatever, right? So there would still not just be, it wouldn't be a blitz difference between the two.
Okay, that's not necessary for my argument. All I have to do to secure this scaling is scale Hal Jordan to Zoom speed, and then from there I could scale him above Superman and Wonder Woman. I don't actually need to scale him massively above Zoom.
Superman and Wonder Woman are also like reacting to him like later on. Like maybe that was just one instance where they're just like, oh shit, I fucked up, and now Zoom's beating me up. And then later he's like, Wonder Woman's reacting to him. Again, you know what I mean?
He was like super quiet or something.
Oh my god. Yeah, so like maybe in that one instance, Zoom just like catches Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman off guard. And then Hal Jordan shows up, catches them from behind or whatever. Or not catches them from behind, he's going to like grab a car or something. But he grabs him. And then later on, we see like not even a panel after that. Hal Jordan and him are still like reacting to each other. And Hal Jordan's still, getting outsped in the sense of whatever. And then we see Wonder Woman literally grab Zoom. So in this case, it's not really like a speed blitz multiplier between any of them. Like Wonder Woman's still reacting to Zoom, Superman's still reacting to Zoom, Hal Jordan's still reacting to Zoom, Zoom's reacting to them. It's just more relativity, not a blitz multiplier. Or a blitz multiplier, a blitz difference. Hello? Oh, shit, I already posted.
Oh, yeah, sorry, one sec. Yeah, so if you were able to... Okay, I'm trying to find the comment because I just found it, but you just deleted it off my page. This is in Sinestro Corps of War, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is Sinestro War. Why do you want the comic link?
Because I'm aware that Doom was like above these characters anyways. So I don't think you represented Doom very well.
I literally posted the scans of what's happening in the fight. I can not. There's no other scans where he's there. I don't think. Hold on.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I found this as well. So yeah,
And here's the
this is
last-
directly after Zoom broke out of. Let me turn it down. This is directly after Zoom had broken out of Hal Jordan's change. So what happening here is he would be temporarily dazed, and then Wonder Woman is capitalizing on this temporary daze and then attacking Zoom.
What?
But he doesn't
Why?
even like do anything to Zoom because he just like escapes it.
He doesn't even like. It's not even
Well, you see,
displayed that he's mentally
Wonder Woman is
dazed.
not even able to. Wonder Woman is not even able to like tag Zoom. He literally just like escapes it.
Like, well, yeah, like. So Hal Jordan escapes, or he escapes Hal Jordan's change too.
Directly after Hal Jordan's speed bits Zoom.
Well, first off, like we established before, you didn't speed blitz him. You just grabbed him. Same thing what Wonder Woman did. Like by this logic, Wonder Woman also speed blitzed him just by grabbing him.
Okay, my understanding of a speed blitz is traveling faster than another character. So Hal Jordan
that's-
traveled faster than Zoom.
What?
Huh?
Why? Why would just traveling
What's the
faster
confusion?
than another character be a speed blitz? No, like he's like Zoom in this
So
case.
that's
is
my
moving-
that's my understanding of a speed blitz. So we have to like understand what word we're using. So
Well-
I'm just telling you what I mean when I say speed blitz.
and my understanding of speed blitz, as shown by like what I explained for Darkseid, would be like being so fast that you're like beyond their perception.
Not to like say, not to be like condescending, but your understanding wouldn't actually be relevant because I'm like trying to you can understand because I'm on my scaling. So when I say speed blitz, this is what I mean.
Okay, so then
Relevant.
like yeah, I mean by this
Debate.
logic, sure, they're by your definition, they're speed blitzing him. But by my definition of speed blitzing, Darkseid would still be faster than everybody here.
Okay,
Like
why?
he's like perception blitzing him too. Here, just like it's obviously that Zoom's not even beyond their perception. They're still like relative in speed
Right.
here. So
I
like
mean,
yeah, sure. By what you're
Zoom
describing,
was not
as
even-
hold on. By what you're describing as a speed blitz, it's like yeah, he's just moving slightly faster than them. Sure, Darkseid would still body all of them by this scaling. So this is just what your definition is. Like if this is what you're gonna do, I'd be willing to accept this. Sure, Orion still blitzes the shit out
But
of
you
Hal
would,
Jordan.
but you would understand that. You would understand that in this scan, Zoom was traveling faster than Superman, right?
Faster than Superman. I mean, like yeah, in that one thing, sure, he's also traveling faster than Wonder Woman in that one thing, and then the next scan he gets as you.
Yeah, so
define
he
it,
would simply be
blitzing
faster
them.
than both.
Hold on, and then
He'd
as
be
you
faster-
define it. Hold on. As you define it,
I wasn't
Wonder
speaking.
Woman
I
would
was
also
letting
have
you go.
blitzed him. So I don't.
Okay. Yeah, so what's his name? Zoom is faster than both Superman and Wonder Woman to an unquantifiable degree in the scans that presented. Do you agree?
To an unquantifiable degree. Yeah, and then in the next scan, Wonder Woman's faster than him to a fun unquantifiable.
Both of you guys, shut the fuck up. You're fucking ass.
As I was saying, both of these scans, like yeah, both of them are faster than each other in these instances to an unquantifiable degree.
I understand. You're saying that they're both faster than each other.
Well, like by what you're describing as, yeah, you're like, okay, Zoom speed or Hal Jordan speed blitzes Zoom by catching him. Like, and then, like, oh, he moved faster than him there, so he speed blitzed him. Now Zoom's moving faster than Hal Jordan, so now he's speed blitzing Hal Jordan. Wonder Woman was getting speed blitzed as you define it by Zoom. Now Zoom is now Wonder Woman's displaying something that would be faster than Zoom. So now Wonder Woman just speed blitz Zoom. That's what your logic is depicting here.
Why do you think Zoom would be like moving faster than Hal Jordan? Like, why would you think that would be relevant? Or crazy? Why do you think that's relevant?
Because it's what you
Because
define
I
as
think
speed
Hal
blitz.
Jordan's faster.
You just defined speed
No.
blitzing as moving faster than your opponent.
So Hal Jordan, this is what happened. Hal Jordan speed blitzed Zoom. He restrained him, like he subdued him, right? While he's subdued, Zoom then counters this by like escaping it. Do you agree?
Counters this by escaping it. Yeah, he exits it. He starts running
Yeah,
on the
do you
wall.
agree? Again, but do you understand? But you would understand that when Hal Jordan, it's consistent that when Hal Jordan subdues or restrains an opponent, he then like loses concentration, right? Do you understand that?
Who does? Zoom does?
When Hal Jordan it's consistent for Hal Jordan once he's restrained an opponent to then lose concentration after his job has been accomplished.
He didn't accomplish his job here. He just restrained him, and then Zoom instantly breaks out.
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? I said it is
after the
consistent.
accomplishment
It
of
is
him catching
consistent.
him for not even like a second.
No. Okay, so but we don't actually know the time frame in the panels, but I said it is consistent for Hal Jordan. After restraining an opponent or subduing the opponent, he then later loses concentration of the opponent, allowing them to escape from his restraining. And this is consistent in other comic as well.
Yeah, can you show that?
Yeah.
And even then, that wouldn't be applicable here, but I want to see it first.
I mean, it would be applicable because in this instance, Hal Jordan is restraining Zoom, and they're both analogous because Hal Jordan also restrains Deathstroke in another comic. So I've sent the scan in
Posted
the
in
Deathstroke
tournament
comment. This
scan.
is oh. Okay, so okay, you didn't send. It's not even sending. It's literally not sending them. It's like failing, just sending tournament scans.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm fine like sending it in scans, but when I try to send it in tournament scans, it just doesn't work. It's dysfunctional.
Sorry, I just put it in spam stuff.
Okay, I've sent the scan. So Howard Jordan, after restraining Deathstroke, like he speed bits Deathstroke beforehand. He did this, he just loses concentration because he thought to himself that his work had been accomplished, so he just took his mind off the task, and the events transpired with Deathstroke escaping.
Hold on 1 second, let me read this guy. Also, okay, so 2 things here. I'll start with one. One, Deathstroke's taunting him and purposely making him lose focus. So this isn't just Hal Jordan like randomly just like seeing a fucking butterfly and just like, oh, it's a pretty butterfly. No, he's being taunted by Deathstroke here. So he's not just gonna lose focus in a battle randomly. So these aren't equivalent cases. 2, no, well, I'll stick with that one. I don't want to shotgun you, but yeah, no. In this case, Hal Jordan's being taunted here. He's like, wow, you're being like, fuck you, Deathstroke, you dirty, and then you dirty son of a, and then Deathstroke's like, and keeps going, and then Deathstroke, while Hal Jordan's looking at him in the face, he knees him from below, or that's what I think is demonstrated. I think that's his knee. So actually, is that even his knee? What comic is this from?
Deathstroke, 1991.
1991.
Yeah.
You know what issue?
Issue 12 or 13. Or issue 13.
Okay.
He kicks Hal Jordan after this with his 2 feet. The panel after.
Yeah, he kicks him and then launches him upwards.
And then he escapes, yeah.
Okay, so it's not equivalent to what we were discussing before.
I think it is because in both instances, Hal Jordan restrains the opponent, and he also speed whips him beforehand, and then the opponent thinks a way how to escape from this.
That's just completely disregarding the context of either scan. You're removing the fact that Deathstroke is talking to him and clearly taunting him with him in the scan as demonstrated by him. And then he literally says, like, oh, you're letting your guard down because of the fact that I'm taunting you. That's like, that was his plan. In the scan of Zoom, none of that's happening. It's just him holding Zoom and then Zoom breaking free.
In the Zoom scan, Hal Jordan simply restrains Zoom, and he has no reason to believe that Zoom would then later escape from his escape from his what's the word captivity, I guess.
So then that means we just randomly assume he forgets about the fight and lets Zoom go. That's what you're saying we do?
We randomly assume.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
What?
Because your scan doesn't...
saying
what? Oh, you're asking what I said. Okay. So, because...
What you think I'm saying?
Because these I don't know, situations are kind of similar, we just assume that the exact same thing happens in both of them, which is just wrong, because in the Deathstroke case, yeah, he's being taunted by Deathstroke. What?
We're not assuming anything. We just asserting what's most likely based on the two comics which are presented.
Okay, so then I'll go from that. In this case, in the Deathstroke thing, we don't have to assume anything, right? We don't have to assume anything of whether or not Deathstroke's taunting him, whether or not Hal Jordan got caught off guard by the taunting. We don't have to assume that. We see it. That's just being shown to us. In the Zoom case, however, we see Zoom running by him, we see Hal Jordan catching Zoom with the chains. Then Zoom later breaks out of it, and we see him like outrunning these chains. So there's no assumption to be made there about Hal Jordan like losing focus or anything, because it's demonstrated in the panel that Zoom is just outrunning his thing and just dodging around them, as shown by the panel. So there's no assumption to be made about whether or not Hal Jordan just randomly loses focus, especially in the case where there's like no taunting there. So the consistency might be that Hal Jordan could lose focus when being taunted, or when just when being taunted in this case, but that's not happening in the Zoom scan, so there's no consistency, and there's no interpretation that you can make.
Can we slow down? Okay.
Slow down? Okay.
Zoom doesn't like outrun Hal Jordan's constructs. What happens is Hal Jordan is tallying Zoom while he's running, and because he's running at such a high momentum, he's able to escape, because obviously he slips through the chains.
Yeah, he slips through the chain. She slips through the chains, outruns them, gets down to the ground, outruns the chains again, then gets caught from behind by Wonder Woman.
No, so he slips through the chains. He then starts running, and then Hal Jordan speed blitzes him again, and then Zoom, while he's being restrained by these chains, he then vibrates or whatever outside of the chains. So he's not performing faster than Hal Jordan at all in any of the scans.
Hold on. Okay, where does he speed blitz Hal Jordan again? Or sorry, when does Hal Jordan speed blitz Zoom again?
Zoom it has escaped the chains, so you see them loosely on his feet, and then in the next panel with an unquantifiable time period, he's in a different environment, and the chains are shown to be illustrated around Zoom's body again.
But he didn't get caught by those chains, as seen by the fact he gets caught by Wonder Woman.
He gets caught by the chains again, and then we see him trying to get outside of the chains.
Okay, so let's hold on. You're jumping around panels here, and that doesn't make any sense.
No, you asked me when did Hal Jordan speed him again, so I have to appeal to the panels to explain what happened in the event. So I'm not jumping around anyway. I'm just staying on topic.
And your reasoning for it doesn't make any sense. So in the first panel, we see him. This is right after he got caught when he supposedly speed blitzed him. And then the next panel, we see that Zoom is.
Repeat what I just said like 10 seconds back. My shit is like disconnected.
Alright, So basically, we're just discussing the fact that what? Who pinged me? We're debating right away. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Dream. But oh fuck, I lost focus. Okay. Right after we see Zoom get caught by the chains by Hal Jordan, he gets thrown into the billboard thing. From there, we see him break out of those chains and run along the line. Then we see him on the ground. He's not caught in these chains. He's actually, I think, he's stepping on the chains. And then he runs down to the ground. He jumps down to the ground or whatever. And then we see Hal Jordan still attacking him with the chains, still not catching him. And then we see from behind, Wonder Woman grabs him. This also shows that Zoom isn't phasing here because Wonder Woman, well, actually, I think, whatever. But yeah, Wonder Woman's lasso is just grabbing him. So it's just like, this is whatever. So it's not proving anything.
In the second panel, we see two zooms illustrated on the same panel. This is like a narrative technique which the writers in DC Comics use when they want to show motion. The second zoom, which is faded out, has no chains wrapped around him, and then in the next illustration of zoom in the same panel, we see him running, and we see how Jordan's chains literally wrapped all around him. And then in the second panel, we see him escaping from it, and then we see the chains wrapped around Zoom again, which he then appropriately vibrates out of or escapes from, whatever.
So first things first, we don't see the chains wrapping. We see the chains attempting to wrap around him, but they failed, as we see the fact that he's stepping on them. So he steps over these wraps that are happening, comes down to the ground or whatever, and then starts moving around these chains again. Then Wonder Woman catches him from behind, and this is what's just displayed by the panel. He's not getting wrapped up by the chains for a second time by Hal Jordan. That's not happening here.
Okay, so then if it's wrapped around, it's simply the chains are in a circular coil around his body. You don't have to be physically touching him, because all I'm saying is his speed is relative to how it seems power speed.
I get that. That's fine. It's not a blitz multiplier either. But for him, he's not getting caught again. Yeah, sure, they're wrapping around him, but they're not restraining him. He's not being restrained here.
They don't actually have to be. They simply have to be able to tag, or not necessarily.
They're not tagging him. He's walking on them.
Yeah, I took that back because I realized that it doesn't have to be relevant for my argument. So it not necessarily tag, but they're in a way that they're wrapped around his body, not physically, but they're wrapped around him. Even when Zoom's trying to escape from him, so Hal Jordan still able to keep up with Zoom's speed.
They're attempting to wrap around him, but he fails.
Okay, so imagine somebody has immeasurable speed, and I have a lasso, and they're traveling at immeasurable speed right then, and then I throw the lasso, and it literally goes around your body. It doesn't have to touch you, but the fact that I'm able to track your movements and then form the lasso around your body while you're moving at immeasurable speed would necessarily dictate that you have relevant relative speed to them.
That's I get that. They're all relative here. That's fine. You're arguing for a blitz multiplier, or sorry, not a blitz multiplier, a blitz in the same vein of my dark side scaling, which is not displayed.
How is Superman or Wonder Woman relative to Zoom in these scans?
Well, we see, as by your definition, Wonder Woman catches Zoom from behind with her lasso. So that'd be bare minimum what you just described as relative.
So if he's catching her from behind, why would that scale to his natural speed when he's not even on guard?
It's the same reason that you explained Hal Jordan did when he caught Zoom from behind.
No, because Zoom was literally physically running. He's using his running speed, his travel speed, and that's his travel speed is what is scales him so high in the DC universe. Since when has Zoom escaping speed be so high?
I mean, we see assuming this happens right after Hal Jordan attempts to wrap him up again, as shown by the panels. He's moving around. He's not stationary. So Wonder Woman's still doing that.
He's not traveling linearly though. He's literally just moving his arms up and down and tap dancing with his feet.
That's what okay. It'd be harder for somebody to catch somebody moving in a non-linear fashion than a linear fashion.
No, because there's not much of a distinction between him moving that much because he's literally just moving his feet like slightly to the side, like 10 centimeters, like to the left or right.
And he's also
He's
like,
not like
she's like, and then he's also like shaking his head around, moving his arms around, and then Wonder Woman gets this perfect throw right around his fucking mouth. So like
yeah,
that's almost
yeah, but
almost
yeah, but
exactly similar to what Hal Jordan.
Doom's immeasurable. Doom's and Flash's immeasurable speed scaling is dictated by their travel speed. It never has been dictated by like how fast they can move their arms or legs and tap dance and that.
This is a point we went over before with like Superman's scaling, but I've
Not
already
necessarily.
explained why these were
Not
relevant.
really. Not really, because like Flash and Doom, literally their speed is always like goes so high because they can travel that fast. Like that's why everybody thinks Flash and that is so fast. And even when Zoom is traveling at that fast with that level of scaling with his travel speed, Hal Jordan's still able to blitz them. Now you're saying that Wonder Woman would also scale to Zoom. However, the issue is that she only manages to speed blitz him from behind when he's off guard, and when Zoom is just like tap dancing and moving his arms like up and down. So how does that scale anyway?
So wait, you're saying Wonder Woman doesn't scale to Zoom because he caught her from behind? She caught him from behind?
I'm saying Wonder Woman doesn't scale to Zoom's travel speed like Hal Jordan does.
Like Hal Jordan does. Was Zoom even traveling when Hal Jordan caught him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like running to grab a truck.
Yeah, he's literally circling all around Wonder Woman, and Hal Jordan is still able to like speed bit Zoom. And Zoom was even trying to escape from escape, and Hal Jordan still gets his leg. And that's
Okay.
that's an even greater level of speed because the fact that he's able to get his leg off all like body parts is like pretty impressive.
Okay, so in this case, you're trying to say that, like, for Wonder Woman's case, I mean, you're trying to say that, like, because he's only moving his, like, body or whatever, it wouldn't scale to his travel speed? When that's, like, just inherently contradictory to how, like, the Speed Force, like, works within their characters. They have, like, speed characters, like Zoom or Flash or whatever. It's like, it's not like it just affects only his legs. He's not only moving this fast because of his fucking feet. It's working for his entire body. That's why he's capable of punching, thinking, and doing all this shit at the same speed. So if he's moving in a non-linear fashion, as you stated before, and he's moving at that same, realistically the same or faster speed than when he's traveling, then this is just a perfectly fine feat for Wonder Woman in the same way, or the same vein as, what the fuck his name is? Hal Jordan.
Not particularly because we both agreed that Zoom was like speed blitzing both Superman and Wonder Woman with his travel speed, and then when Wonder Woman speed blitzes Zoom, he's not traveling. So that would just be like a distinction which like scales Zoom's like non-travel speed slower than his travel speed. Because Wonder Woman is only able to keep up with his non-travel speed when he's not traveling, but when Zoom is traveling, like she's like completely slower than him. So they're obviously like slower.
Can you restate that one more time? Sorry, I don't know, I didn't really hear it.
So we both like agreed that how like Zoom was like traveling while he was speed blitzing Wonder Woman and Superman. Okay, so that would like scale him above that in that facet, like in travel speed. And then your like response was, but Wonder Woman speed blitzes Zoom. However, but however, Zoom wasn't traveling in the same fashion as he was when Hal Jordan speed blitzed him. So that would be direct proof that Zoom's travel speed does not scale to his non-travel speed because Wonder Woman is able to speed blitz him when he's not traveling. However, she's not able to speed blitz him when he is traveling, so they're clearly slower.
Okay, so, first off, as I said before, the same thing could be applicable to Hal Jordan, because we see the same thing happening to Hal Jordan, but you just like, while Zoom isn't paying attention to Hal Jordan, he just gets snatched from behind, but then later we see Zoom like outrunning Hal Jordan, outmaneuvering him, now that he's aware of Hal Jordan, and then when he loses awareness of Wonder Woman, then the same thing happens. So there's a consistency that's being built here. When Zoom is not paying attention, or not in, say, aware of somebody who's attacking him, he gets caught by them. As shown in Hal Jordan catching him from behind, he's unaware that Hal Jordan's there. Wonder Woman, he's fighting, he's focusing on Hal Jordan. Oh, Wonder Woman comes from behind and snatches him up there. So these would still be equivalent by what you've just said. This isn't, at this point, this isn't really going anywhere. We can conclude this point as well.
Okay, but I wanted to say that Superman would scale to like Orion.
Well, because of this consistency we've built here, like, you mean like 5 seconds? I can go grab a scan of Superman like reacting to him like in a full fight already.
Alright, wait, hold on. I'll be right back. Wait, pause.
Alright,
I'll be right back.
It's time for the halftime show. Tell me what you
What's up,
want.
Hubert? You sound cute as hell right now.
Come on, shut up. Yo, hoodie.
What is it?
Are you racist?
What?
Are you racist?
Violently, why?
Oh, I like that.
Damn, violent racist. Bro, didn't even hesitate.
Wait, hold on. Country, you Shut up, nigger! Stop singing the mic. Yo, perfect. Where the hell country are you from? Yo, perfect.
Yeah.
What country are you from, bro? Oh, that's an L, bro. I kind of want you to lose now. I hate British niggas, bro, for no reason. I hate you guys. I'm not even being racist.
It's because British people are all uneducated. Bill.
Yeah, also, you're just disgusting. Remember how we kicked you out of America? Like, just nonchalantly? That's how ass you guys are. You guys came over here, you tried taking over, you know what we did, bro? We said, fuck you, faggots. We ran you guys out of this bitch. Didn't stand a chance against our farmers with shotguns, nigga. And I swear, you guys couldn't do shit. And you know who stepped up to the plate? Nigga didn't even have fucking teeth. You got folded by a nigga with no teeth. You know what his name was? George Washington.
Dude, are you still walking, bro?
Yeah. I'm just
Hey, like, nobody cares what you have to say, Jared. Come on.
Alright, I'm back, bro. They catfished me.
like that.
It was a nigga. What the fuck?
Shit. How you feeling, Crows?
He
catfish on
he
Uber Eats.
answered the door naked,
It looks like a man.
hoping to get pussy. Answer the door naked. No, I think it was her boyfriend that came. But yeah, continue.
Like, if you zoom in on the picture, you can see, like, the masculine features.
Yeah, she fucking smelled your.
Damn. Alright, let's go. So, from here, it's like...
Superman would scale to Orion, correct?
Are you about to use inverse scaling for the cross-verse tournament, bro?
Well, I don't understand what you're saying. These characters are from the same verse. Why would that not make sense?
I mean... Is that what this debate's going to be? Is that what it's going to turn into, an inverse debate? I was under the presumption it was just going to be like, alright, keep the scaling separated in the sense that it's like, alright, use cross-verse stuff for the same verse. I think that's what the intention of the tournament was.
That assumption has never been like backed up by like any rules for the tournament, so we can do whatever we want.
When I asked Aista, like...
Yeah, no inverse.
Yeah, I asked Aista. And I mean, you
that's
said
like
no,
a new.
so.
I mean, that's like a new rule invented, but okay, I guess we should.
You better apply Death of the Author to the debate tournament. Okay. No, yeah, I'm almost completely sure this is strictly crossfit stuff.
Yeah.
Where's Dream at?
He's the one just talking, I think.
No.
I am? What's up?
Yeah, y'all debating still?
I'm not debating.
Me? No, he's not debating. He's debating me after.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I got. Do you understand that Spectre? How Jordan is like? It's how Jordan.
He's what?
To parallax how Jordan.
Spectre Hal Jordan is Parallax Hal Jordan. Is that what you said?
Superior to Parallax Hal Jordan.
No, I'm not. Why would that be the
Okay,
case?
I'll send that. But
So
while I'm
I
sending
guess
it,
now
are
that
you
you're
also
moving,
aware that Parallax?
so now that we're like moving on from this, are you just dropping that speed point now, or is this connect to it?
I'm not dropping. I'm not dropping it. You said that it's getting quite like tedious, so we're not moving anywhere. So we should just move on. That's what I heard you say that.
I
So
never
I'll just
once
like
said that. What the fuck?
you said we're not getting anywhere with this point.
Yeah,
so we
I
should
know.
just,
I
like,
was gonna
move
say
on.
we
I
can
heard you say
conclude
that.
it. Let's conclude it.
Okay, yeah, we can conclude it. Yeah, sure.
Okay. You start.
Okay, so I scaled Hal Jordan to zoom speed, and I sent 2 scans. And in the scans, zoom is like throwing like 80 punches against Superman, and Superman's not able to even throw one, which would mean he's massively faster than Superman's speed. And then in the second scan, he's also able to do the same against Wonder Woman, even with like traveling like super fastly. And then after this, Hal Jordan directly speed blitzes Zoom, despite Zoom having already speed blitzed like Wonder Woman. And so from this, I surmise that Hal Jordan would be faster than Zoom. But if that not be the case, then he could just be equal to Zoom. And then I also said that from the scan, this would also scale Zoom to like above Wonder Woman and Superman. He brought up the contention that Zoom was like either off guard or like he's not traveling at his fastest or whatever, something like that. But I said that Zoom was traveling like super fast because he's like punching these characters with like an overwhelming amount of blows. And all Hal Jordan does is just tie him up easily. And then he said, but Zoom simply escapes from his chains. I said, but it's consistent that Hal Jordan always becomes off guard when he chains up or subdues an opponent. And this is conveyed in Deathstroke's comic in 1991, where like he subdues and restrains Deathstroke, but after doing so, he just and he just like the opponent just like gets an upper hand on him. So I used this logic and I tied it into what happened with Zoom, and I said this would be the reason why Zoom was able to escape from his chains. And then he also said that Zoom is not necessarily above Superman or Wonder Woman because in later scans Wonder Woman is able to speed blitz Zoom. However, I said that she was only capable of doing this when Zoom was off guard, because even he said that Wonder Woman's lasso like caught him from behind, so it's not even like when he's like looking at her or within his peripheral vision. And then it's also like after he directly escaped from Hal Jordan's chain, so he would have been temporarily dazed. Okay, that's my conclusion.
Okay, so in conclusion, his scans are demonstrated by the fact that it's like Superman, as before, it's like Hal Jordan catches Zoom from behind, and then while Zoom is fighting Hal Jordan again, Wonder Woman catches him from behind while he's off guarded for both of these statements. For both of these scans. So at this point, there's like a established consistency here for this fight. That Zoom, when he's like fighting multiple people or just fighting one person, when he's like focusing on them, he just gets caught from behind. As well as this, when Zoom is like fighting Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman at the time, he's like speed blitzing them, sure, or speed blitzing him by Perfect's definition of what speed blitzing is, which is just moving faster than the opponent, and he's just like running circles around them, like punching them or whatever. And then later we see that Hal Jordan is also reacting to them. Wonder Woman's still reacting to him, like capable of like reading his path enough for her to catch him and stuff. So at the most, from what these scans show, not only is there a consistency that they're capable of like reacting to him when he's like running away from them or be turned to him or when he's not aware of them, but there's also just not really enough to establish a speed blitz for anybody here that Hal Jordan would scale above in this context. So that's why this wouldn't be a speed blitz here. As well as the fact that he tried to argue that Zoom or Hal Jordan, when dropping Zoom from the chains, was caught off guard by something or whatever, but like that's not displayed by the scan he sent later, which is the Deathstroke one, where he just he gets taunted by Deathstroke, then kicked from underneath because he's like not paying attention directly to him. And he tried to equivocate this to Zoom getting out of his change when that's not displayed at all, so there's no consistency for that either. So Zoom, at bare minimum, would either be A, or like Hal Jordan at this would be like A, equal to Zoom, or just like slightly faster than him, and this wouldn't change anything for like a blitz. So, no, Hal Jordan would not be like capable of blitzing immeasurable speed people. And that's the end of my conclusion.
Okay. Based off of this, I think it's pretty blatant. Yeah, he basically substantiated that Hal Jordan was at best like slightly above, the Zoom. Obviously, like due to his arbitrary definition of what he defines a blitz to be, he literally just said the blitzing is just like being faster than a character, which isn't true at all, and it's weird. Even under that prerequisite, Hoodie was able to establish what he was defining by blitzing by bringing up an example of a perception blitz, to the point where Superman couldn't even see Darkseid move, and he just choked him out, which is like blatantly blitzing a character to this high X degree, while he has failed to prove that his character is blitzing, these like reverse flash, etc., etc. The chain argument was a little weird, but I would still give that to Hoodie, obviously, because he was able to substantiate that it wasn't consistent as far as like the days, and you bringing up the Wonder Woman argument. None of those things really like failed to show like reverse flash blitzing these characters, and the panels he posted showed that they were still tracking him and still able to perceive him. And even if you did give it to him, like I said, and granted it's not to the level of degree of Darkseid blitzing Superman in the scan he posted. So yeah, I mean, he definitely substantiated that. I think Hoodie won that. So yeah.
That's dope. Hey, I also got. Can I take the spot of like? Just give me hero spot, because fucking Darkstar didn't put me back in. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, Tigger was supposed to be in. Tigger, you can go debate Haiku.
What? That's who I have to debate if I take hero spot? I got hold for real.
No, I'm playing. Who's hero?
Let me go beat up Haiku real quick. I don't care.
Haiku's asleep. We literally got off.
I don't give a fuck. Let me ping him awake.
Okay. But yeah, that shit's weird. Niggas don't know Flash skin. Reverse Flash was holding back in that skin anyways. Who cares? Like,
fuck Flash anyways, man. If you're using DC,
hero. Okay, if you face hero, yeah, that's fine if you face hero.
Yeah, Reverse Flash always.
You know what?
Reverse Flash like trolls the Justice League all the time. Like, there's like a scan where like he admits that like whenever he like fights like the Justice League, and like he purposely literally just does that. Like, he just doesn't try. Like,
oh.
Yeah, fine. It's fine if you take hero spot, I guess.
Oh, can I go bully Jin?
Jin? No.
Bully Jin? I'll call Jin in here right now. Nigga talking crazy for now.
Yeah. I think Nexus is NVC. If you wanted to take hero spot and debate Nexus, you can do that.
Bro, what? I got actually hoed because niggas didn't listen to me say my name was Trippy T in the thing, so I got fucked.
Dude, when did you say that? Nobody heard you. Nobody heard you.
Badasses. These fucking.
Yeah, you'll take hero spot.
Debate Nexus.
Who was hero up against?
Nexus.
Nexus?
Yeah,
Who's that?
He's like.
He's garbage. Anyways, alright,
yeah, let me ping him.
What's up, Eddie?
I'm not done. We're still debating. Calm.
Oh my god,
what? Fucking.
Do you mind doing me a favor?
That's done.
This imposter's name.
Still debating. I thought you guys were giving judgments. I thought this was the judgment. My fault.
Nope.
But unless
Speed is done.
Yeah, Hoodie.
The speed point? What?
So do you guys want to go into like? Do you have any like AP hacks, passive hacks?
Can I try one more speed argument?
No. I mean, I feel like we're kind of close. That's the point of this argument. I brought up to you to like literally say, do you have any other arguments to get your character multiple speed blitzes? And you brought up this one argument. And now you're like, okay, well, let me try something else. Like, bro, it's already been like how long?
Let me check my recording.
Don't even fucking know. It's just been like at least 2 hours. Yeah, like a little like passive hacks or something, or like a win con. Yeah, but like this speed point is pretty much done.
Okay. What hacks is what are win cons?
I don't know. You can either just like A.
I mean, right now, it's like you're getting blitzed unless you know Hal Jordan's passive hacks. Do you?
Yeah, what
I can scale how Jordan's durability, so none of like Orion's speed bits would like be relevant.
So you're gonna scale his
Yeah.
durability?
Yeah.
Well, okay, sure.
Okay, so you're aware that the central power battery is equal to dark side in power, right?
What?
The central power battery is equal to dark side in power. This is conveyed in like Dark Side War when the mother box sorry, it lost a host, and when it went looking for somebody as powerful as Darkseid.
The mother box went to find of somebody as powerful as Darkseid.
Yeah, and it found the central power battery.
Yeah, can I see the scan of that?
Yeah. Okay, I've set. Okay, so not general. So Darkseid's mother box. So after Darkseid died, the central. Oh my god! After Darkseid died, his mother box looked for somebody as powerful as himself, and it found and located the central power battery, which should necessarily scale them equal in power level.
Okay, so it's like if a ring or whatever dies, does it seek out a new user? So Darkseid has a mother box that controls these demons, and Darkseid dies. And the mother box searches for somebody as powerful as him. The mother box senses the central power battery. Uses demons to fight the lantern so it can get to the power. It merges with the battery, hoping to find what it combined with the infinite power of the battery with its infinite knowledge and becomes something else. The battery is not conscious, it's pure, unshaped will. The mother box still needs a new user, a new master, a new god. So you're saying the mother box, or the central power battery in this case, would just be equal to Darkseid?
Oh yeah, that's what it says, yeah.
Okay, what about this?
Okay, so do you agree that it's equal?
Sure, but what does this have to do with anything?
I mean, I don't know, is that a yes or no? I don't.
Yeah, I said sure, yeah. That's fine.
How Jordan is able to tap into every single central power battery across the entire DC multiverse, and he tanked it all.
So, infinite 3D.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's infinite 3D, right?
How Jordan is able to tap into every single central power battery, including this one, which is equal to Darkseid, and he was able to tank like the energy which it emitted.
So, an infinite amount of infinite power.
Okay, no, so all the central power batteries, including this one, which scales to Darkseid, hit Hal Jordan, and Hal Jordan was completely fine with it.
Yeah, I don't. That's infinite 3D. That's fine.
Yeah, a universal.
Why would that be infinite 3D?
You just destroyed an infinite amount of stuff. That's like, or like, he's stronger. He has something. He has strength that's like. He has strength that's infinite.
Oh no, bro.
Across the multiverse, which all the central power across the multiverse.
So infinity times infinity.
Including, oh my god, we're not using inverse logic. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I said. This is just infinite.
Inverse logic. What?
Why would it be infinite 3D when this is when this energy is what's required to defeat it? When this energy is required to stop the Ultra War in DC Comics.
I don't know. What would the Ultra? Why would the Ultra War change it from being infinite 3D?
Because the Ultra War is like the totality of war in DC Comics and fights and stuff like that. All the fights in DC Comics, yeah. The fights would include the fights which Orion and Darkseid partake in.
Oh, you keep coming back to this inverse scaling. Like, okay, sure, like whatever, but like, this is still just infinite 3D. You gotta remember, this is a cross-verse tournament. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just gonna say that, then like, oh, okay, well, fucking whatever. Then it just goes to, then it just no longer becomes a tournament debate. You know what I mean? So like, from what your hand, like using cross-verse logic, not using like, inverse stuff. Like at this point, like let me put it like this: from how I'm interpreting the tournament and what Ice just said, it's like this. Orion from this universe is not the same as the Orion from the Hal Jordan that you're arguing. They can be exactly the same, but they're not the same people. So it'd just be like, you can't really use inverse logic in that way. So if you want to like scale their attack potency, but that's fine. But like so far, you just have infinite 3D. So
okay, I guess I could go like this.
And Ice, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I'm viewing this.
Yes, there's no inverse scaling.
Okay.
You just scale AP, speed, hacks. If someone asks more context for the scan, you're allowed to ask for the context, and then like disprove it with a scan of what's happening. Like obviously, but like there's no like inverse. So you like, or you like, yeah, this character beat this character canonically, or etc.
Yeah, it's just I wasn't like told this before the debate tournament, but that's fine.
Kind of implied by the title.
Well.
Yeah. I understand that, but I surmise that considering both characters are from the same verse, it would make sense that we should scale it in the verse, but it's fine. I understand the cruise.
So it made sense for you to see a cross-verse tourney and then like 70% of the bracket to do inverse DC. Like, how does that make sense, like, whatsoever?
Oh yeah, because they're from the same verse, so I thought it was logical to use inverse scaling.
Nah.
But it's fine. I heard what you said, so I understand what you're trying to say.
Alright.
I'll drop that argument what I just said, and I'll say how Jordan as a Spectre was able to create he's able to create like a reality layering over the reality in DC Comics. If you understand what I said.
Like layering over it.
Yeah, he's able to create he's able to manifest a reality which lays over like all of DC's existence and reality, including like the infinite space-time continuums.
Like layers over that. So he just places it on top of it.
Yeah.
Why would that scale it above it? I can
scaling is durability.
I can stand on top of a building. That doesn't make me building level.
Oh my god, okay, so I'm saying which towers over all of everything in DC Comics. He has to tank the force based on like physics. So this will be like a scaling for his durability feat.
Wait, he has to tank the force. What?
Yeah, do you know the second law of I think it's thermodynamics?
No, feel free to explain it.
Every force emitted, you have to tank that equal amount of force. If I punch a wall, I have to be durable to tank that punch I did.
I mean, sure, but like that would be like applicable in the sense of our dimension. Like if you're like, where are you scaling this to?
This would be multiversal plus level because he's able to create a reality. He's able to create like a reality which lays over an infinite number of space-time continuums.
Okay, so why does layering over it scale it above it? It's just like
because the requirement for multiversal level plus is creating or destroying infinite numbers of space-time continuums. So he meets the criteria for multiversal level plus.
So he would wait. Yeah, fuck it. Okay, so actually, if you were to argue that, that wouldn't be multiversal plus. That would be 5D, and that would scale your character above the cap. So, by this logic, you would just be like breaking the rules of the tournament.
Why do you think it's 5D?
Well, because it's like transcending it. Like you're trying to say, oh yeah, it transcends this point.
Oh my god, I used to spin.
He transcends this point. It's like, okay, yeah, he just transcends this thing. Like when I transcend an infinite
Why do you think it's 5D?
I'm explaining that. So he's transcending this like 4D construct to a degree that's like above it, or like a totality that's, as you described, layered above it, right? And there's an infinite number of these things. So he would just be like completely above that. So it would just be like if you were to look at like a paper, like a piece of paper, and I could like stand above that. This piece of paper is flat, and so therefore it would just be like the same vein as what Spectre's doing in this case, and you'd be overscaling your character to the cap.
I'm not understanding anything you were saying. I don't know how it has relevance to what I said.
So, okay.
Sorry.
You're transcending these 4D constructs. You're transcending an infinite number of fourth dimensions. So you're transcending the entirety of the fourth dimension times infinity. So that would be bare minimum 5D. To transcend all of the fourth dimension would be like fifth dimensional. That's what like how like the axes works. It's how all of that shit works.
Yeah, where does the 5D coming in reference to the scan I'm mentioning?
The scan you're mentioning? I'm just saying how you're describing it. I mean, if you want to post the scan, sure.
Yeah, so it happened in the thingy, like 2001, like Spectre.
Are you right now?
What?
Oh, my
We're
fault.
still debating. But yeah, no, so by what I'm saying here, you'd just be like overscaling your character. Your character would be
but you haven't conveyed how it actually like outscales him above the tournament's qualifications. So you just just said
so
it would be 5D.
Infinite 4D is like the multi-plus cap, right? That's the cap of the tournament, right? That's what's established. I don't even need to ask that. That's just the cap of the tournament. It'd be like if you scaled your character to a relevant speed. You know what I mean? That's not allowed in the tournament, so your character would now just be invalid because your character's too strong.
Yeah. I know this, but I'm saying this would qualify, and you're saying it's not. So I'm not confused why it would not. And you're just saying because it's.
If I transcend the fourth dimension, what would I be?
Yeah, but what would the fourth dimension be involved in this like instance?
Okay, the space-time, in most instances, unless contradicted, the space-time continuum is normally what we would describe as fourth dimension, right? As the fourth dimension, I should say.
Was that a question?
Yeah. It is, right?
You just like gave me something, yeah, carry on.
Okay, so the fourth dimension in most things, especially in DC in this case, would be fourth dimensional. Right, would be the fourth dimension. Let me rephrase that. Like that's an established thing that where it may or may not be true, but most of the time when it's just like stated within a fiction, it's what they're referring to, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and then now he transcends the entirety of the fourth dimension and times. Well, I guess the amount of it does is over. Oh, what the fuck. But
it would only be invalid if you transcended to like a countably infinite degree. That's when it becomes a low multiversal.
Okay, if I well, I mean, no, not necessarily. You would just have to transcend the entire.
That's literally the reverse back to the requirements for like low complex multiversal. You have to transcend to an infinite degree.
Hold on, let me grab the definition directly. I don't really be using the SPW like that, but multiversal plus characters who are capable of significantly countably infinite number of low complex multiversal whose corresponds to 2 higher levels of infinity greater than a standard universe model. In terms of dimensional scale, this can be equated to 5 and 6 dimensional real coordinate spaces. Okay. So these are two different things that you're saying here. Like, well, one, you could either be spaces who are two higher levels of infinity greater than the standard universal model, which would be in reference to 4D, or B, it can just be fifth dimensional, which is what I'm going for. I'm stating that it's fifth dimensional. So it's not you have to have both, it's one or the other. Okay?
Yeah, but I'm struggling to understand why this would be like 5D, or why would this be a 5D feat?
If I transcend the fourth dimension, what am I? I don't have 4 axes. I have a higher level of axes. What am I?
You can still be 4D.
How can I be 4D if I have higher axes?
No, let me rephrase that. If I created reality over the fourth dimension, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the fifth dimension.
So it's dimensionally, or not dimensionally, it's just superior to the fourth dimension. It surpasses the fourth dimension. It's above what we've established.
It's superior in size to the fourth dimension. It doesn't have to be 5D, because you have to transcend it. You have to transcend it infinitely based on the versus battles criteria.
No, that's one option of getting it there. The other option. Hold on. I know. I get it. As Versus Battle Wiki defines it, low complex multiversal characters who can affect, create, or destroy the entirety of spaces whose size corresponds to 1 to 2 higher levels of infinity greater than a standard universal model. Low 2C. Structures in plain English. In terms of dimensional scale, this can be equated to 5 and 6 dimensional real coordinate spaces. So, in this definition, it doesn't have to be both. It's one or the other. They are equivalent in this case by this definition. So, if something was 5th dimensional, it would be low complex multiversal. If something was 2 or if something was 1 level of infinity greater than the standard universal model, it would also be low complex multiversal. If it's both, it could be both. If it's neither of them, it's neither. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Not really, because you have to, like I said before, you have to transcend it to an infinite degree.
No, I'm explaining why that's not the case.
Oh my god! If we use the Versus Battle Wiki's theory system, which I'm using, it verbatim says you have to transcend it to like an infinite degree.
I'm reading that, and I'm stating that there's 2 ways of getting there. Right? There's 2 ways here in the definition. There's 2 explicit ways they demonstrate. So, dimensional scale, 5th dimensional. Infinite greater scale, you have to be a higher level infinity. Which, in this case, that also be true. Hold on.
Can you repeat that, please?
The first way of going about getting to low complex multiversal tier is 1 to 2 higher levels of infinity greater than the standard universal model, which would be 4D in this case. The other way to get to low complex multiversal, in terms of dimensional scale, this can be equated to 5th and 6th dimensional real coordinate spaces. Notice how it's not saying it has. Notice how there's no and in this statement. There's no and. It's one or the other.
Okay.
I can't. So,
if you're 5th dimensional, you're infinitely transcendent of the 4th dimension. You know that, right?
Sure. Yeah, like you're just one higher level, or you're above. You're a layer above infinity. Which, in this case, considering that what you're arguing here is that Spectre is like this multiverse contains infinite 4D constructs or infinite 4th dimensions. By this definition, he would just be like above that infinity. So he'd be on like a higher coordinate set of infinity, or what is it, Alpha 1 or whatever, all that bullshit. So this would also meet that definition and be 5th dimensional. So yeah, this is beyond the scale of the tournament and is unable to be used.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you're like Aleph and No, even if you're infinitely above Aleph and No, you're still Aleph and No. That's what Cantor.
No, it's not that. He just
He said that before.
So hold on. So what's here is, like, in this case, Aleph Null would be the infinite 4th dimensions, right? From there, he's transcending this infinite set, and now he's moving on to this second set of this higher existence he's created. So now,
why does he have to be moving on to the second set, though? I don't understand.
Because there's already this established set of infinity. Right? That's what you said.
Okay, why can't... So let's say, like, infinity plus 1 is still infinity, why can't Hal Jordan be that 1 which is towering over the infinity? It still would be infinite feet.
But that would still be a part of that set of fourth dimensions, right?
Okay, so
it wouldn't transcend them.
Yeah, exactly. So it would just be multiversal level.
No. Okay, so it wouldn't transcend them. You agree to that? It wouldn't transcend them if it was just infinity plus 1. It's all a part of the. It wouldn't transcend. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It wouldn't transcend the set. So by your own words, you're stating that this DC multiverse has this infinite amount of fourth dimensional constructs, and from here, Spectre makes a thing that layers over and transcends this. So now we have a new set of a multiverse that's just above this. We have this new set that transcends this lower set of infinity. It's no longer a part of that set, and it transcends the set, therefore it would be a higher set, just by what transcend means in this case.
We don't have to have another set. We can still be part of the same set, yet still be transcended.
But if it that's self-defeating.
Set theory is. That's what set theory is. You can, even if you're like Aleph 1, if you're infinitely above Aleph 1, you're still Aleph 1. That's what's included in set theory.
It's not even just infinitely above that. It's just like an inaccessible gap between the two. That's where okay, I could add infinity to Alph Null, it'd still be Alph 1. If I transcend Alph Null, then I'm no longer a part of the set of Alph Null. That's the difference here. So what's happening is there's another set which goes above that of Alph Null and creates a new one. So in this case, what Spectre would be creating, say this infinite amount of fourth dimensions, is Alph Null. He would be creating something that would be Alph 1 or fifth dimensional. Either or, it doesn't matter. Both lead to the same thing, which overscales the tournament cap. And so this, by your own logic, would actually render your character your character would no longer be capable of being used because your character is breaking the cap. So now we know your character scales too high, therefore your character is just not good for the tournament by your own scaling.
One sec. Powerful energy in Orion. Okay, I think I've substantiated my argument enough, but I don't think you use understanding, to be honest.
So then let's leave it to the judge. Because if you think that I'm not understanding it, the judge will. And then if you think the judge isn't understanding it, then you can debate the judge.
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Under this definition, yeah, he definitely would be out of tier. Especially with you literally, transcending, 4D playing. Define space-time, what it is. Typically, space-time is defined, obviously, 3 dimensions of space, 1 dimension of time. And then it was able to provide the case of why transcendent will arguably be 5D. And then this Aleph Null argument to try to dictate that there could just be higher levels of infinity doesn't necessarily refute the whole aspect of transcending it. Well, in this case, that higher level of infinity isn't within reference to this game.
Aleph 1 plus infinity is still Aleph 1, but yeah.
There can be higher level of infinity, but doesn't necessarily dictate. Doesn't necessarily, refute or contradict what he was arguing with you transcending the 4-dimensional space-time.
Yeah, I'm just saying that even if you transcend it to an infinite degree, it doesn't mean you're above it. That sounds kind of weird, but that's how set theory works. If you're Aleph 1 and you're infinitely, quote-unquote, infinitely above, you're still a part of that set. But yeah.
Nice. You're not leaving.
We should go into the hacks.
No, your character's out of gear. Your character's too strong for the tournament.
No, it's not. That's the Spectre component of the character.
No, but
your Spectre's a part of comp Hal Jordan, is he not? Well, actually, don't answer that question. Yeah, he is, as you've stated. By the sense of you using
that means the Spectre Hal Jordan.
No, Spectre Hal Jordan would be a part of comp, correct?
I really want to do the hack.
So your character is your composite character would be too strong and would break the tournament rules.
Oh, this is Christmas.
I really wanted to do the. Okay, I guess you can do that way of winning, but I really wanted to do the hacks. But
No.
that's Hal Jordan.
Yeah, right now, yeah, you kind of already went out of tier. There's no purpose of going to hacks. Like,
Wait, why do I have perms? What the fuck?
I gave it to you so you can type and scan.
Oh, okay. That was very confusing. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What would you have said for the hacks part, anyways? Like,
I don't know. I probably would have just did I would have just done mind hacks.
Oh,
and then I just I would have just did like, higher degree of mind hacks. Does he mind hacks Superman and Martian Manhunter, like, casually? But yeah, that's what I would have did.
Big bang, boom.
Oh, I would have just said Black Lantern Hal Jordan is like above the anti-life equation.
What?
What?
Oh, that's not even true.
That would be like.
What? Because the anti-life equation. The anti-life equation.
You can kind of argue that, but it doesn't really matter. That'd be out of tier then again.
He's like the black racer. He's deaf, and Hal Jordan is deaf as well.
Do you know about Hal Jordan's wall hacks?
His what?
All right, hoodie, let's go. Let's go, hoodie.